Jim Monaghan from the WDHA Morning Jolt. I have Bobby from Guitar Repair Services with me today. Welcome to DHA, by the way. Appreciate you coming on board as a sponsor.
Happy to be here.
And we want to talk about guitars because that's what Bobby does. Tell us a little bit about your store.
Well, we recently opened up in Scotch Plains, downtown Scotch Plains, in April, middle of April, a couple months ago. I'm actually affiliated with two other companies, Raritan Bay Guitar Repair, which has been there for over 20 years in Freehold. And recently we opened up another store end of last year in Toms River. And recently my store in Scotch Plains.
Now, do you find a lot of people when they come in are very protective of their instruments?
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. That's one of the things that I was taught early on when I started doing repairs, and who taught me is that regardless of what the cost of the instrument is, it's special to somebody. So whether it's a $100 guitar or a $5,000 guitar, it's still special to somebody out there, so you have to treat it accordingly,
This is a Martin 0028 VS. The only modifications that I've made to this guitar, I added a pick guard, and then I changed the saddle. I had the original saddle, which I kept. Just the regular saddle, and I put a bone compensated saddle in.
Right.
So those are the only modifications that I've made so far to this guitar. But one of the things that I know when you get into the summertime, temperature changes, humidity changes.
Huge effects on guitars.
Big effects.
Yep.
Tell us what you would do in those cases with an acoustic guitar, because that's a little different from an electric.
Yeah, electrics are a little bit more stable because they have a solid body. They don't have a sound hole. They're not hollow like an acoustic guitar is, so they stay a little bit more stable through the summer and the winter. But severe temperature swings for acoustic guitars, classical guitars, even violins, things along those lines, severe temperature changes in the winter and the summer just completely throw the guitar out of whack. Then you start realizing that strings are starting to buzz, and that's pretty much the telltale sign that you need it set up.
One of the things, years ago, I worked at a music store in Morristown, and one of the things that we would do would be to change the height of the saddle. Yeah. So some guys would have a summer saddle versus what they use the rest of the year.
Right. You're going to see the changes in the instrument if you don't keep it at a normal humidity level. An acoustic guitar should be all year round, winter, summer, regardless, should be between 45 and 55% humidity. So regardless of where the guitar is kept, whether it's in the case or you have it sitting on a guitar stand in a room, the humidity level should be between 45 and 55%. If it goes below that, you're starting to dry the guitar out. And if it goes above that, you're over-humidifying it. But there's a very fine line. 45 to 55 is not a big range for an instrument. Mm-hmm. So the only way to really tell that you're in that range is to buy a hygrometer. A lot of companies sell them. Diodario sells them. They're little digital hygrometers that you can either keep in the guitar case with the guitar, and it tells you all the time where your humidity level is. And if it's low, you need to have to humidify it. If it's too high, then you can take the humidifier out. But the results of not humidifying a guitar get to be expensive, because you start getting cracks on the body, and the first spot it starts to crack is right by the bridge. And it starts to go down to the tail block, because that's where most of the pressure is from the strings on the guitar. So that's where the crack first starts to show up.
We have a lot of listeners who call us from time to time who say, I haven't played the guitar in a while, I want to start up again. That old instrument that they've got lying around in the house, what would be the first thing that they would want to look for in terms of getting it set up properly?
Well, like I said, you're going to know whether or not, if you played the guitar quite a bit prior to that, you're going to know right away as soon as you pick it up, even if it's been setting for years, that it's just not playing right. Either the action's too high, the strings are too high off the fretboard, or they're too low, and you start to hear strings buzzing. Right then and there, you know that something happened to the guitar while it was sitting for that length of time. And you just have to bring it in, and we have to take a look at it. And, in those severe cases, despite the cracks that you might start to see, the neck can start to warp also. You can start to get a warped neck from over-humidifying it, usually over-humidification. And then it gets pretty expensive, because with guitars like this, they have a set neck. They have a glued-on neck. And you'd have to detach the neck from the guitar and either repair the neck Man, it gets expensive.
Yes, it does.
So
Yes.
my point to all that is that with a little bit of care, you know, throughout the year for the guitar, you're going to save yourself a lot of money in the long run, repairing all the damage that you would do if you're not keeping track of where it is throughout the year.
We're going to be doing this as a regular feature with Bobby here at WDHAFM.com. For our listeners who want to get that guitar set up, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
732-770-0435. That's the phone number. Or you can go to the website, which is helpmyguitar.com. There's a contact spot there. But the best way is to give us a call.
Bobby, thanks for coming in today. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.